Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moogle Go Round episode 123. Yes, somehow we've made 123 of these. I don't know how. I don't know how we broke 100, but somehow we have done that. I would like to say that recently we've been doing the first episode with a giveaway, but due to financial reasons for myself this month, there's no giveaway this week, but the giveaway will be delayed till 2 weeks from now. So anyone that's here for the giveaway today, I'm sorry. But in 2 weeks' time, there'll be an actual giveaway. But we've got Paul here. Hey, Paul.
Oh. I'm unmuting like two different things. So
how are you doing?
I'm in very much in pain because it's like my IBS is starting off, but I've also took medications. I'm like low key like, I need to go to loo. Do I not need to go to loo? Do I just sit here in pain? I don't know.
Pain is not good. I really do hope you feel better soon, mate.
Yeah, this is the last day of me taking pills, so then I can actually have my normal sleeping schedule. I say normal sleeping schedule. I mean American sleeping schedule.
Like I say, when did we have a normal sleeping schedule? I mean, to be fair, what's normal to anyone, really? What is normal?
This day and age, there is being different is the way forward in life.
Yeah. Now, before I can't believe I'm getting to introduce this. I have been an incredible fan of their show for many years. With Limit Break Radio being, in my opinion, one of the most important cornerstones when it comes to Final Fantasy content creation that there is. As I've said many times on Twitter, I will say this anytime I want any podcast that asks me. I feel like we would not have as many Final Fantasy there are big ones out there like A4Right Radio, or as it used to be Pet Gamma Biscuit, or whatever it was before that. State of the Realm. We've all had major Final Fantasy content creators, but to me, I feel like this was one of the big cornerstones that helped push the game and content creation. We're very lucky to have her on. Thank you so much for joining us, Eskalia.
Well, thank you. That is one of the nicest intros I've ever gotten.
Oh, well, thank you. But no, seriously, you helped inspire me want to make content for this game. So for good or bad reasons, thank you.
No, I think that's definitely a good thing. I will count that amongst my list of accomplishments through the years. But thank you and congratulations. 123 episodes. I was telling you before, it is really, really difficult to do any show for 100 episodes. And just look at my back catalog of shows that have fizzled after 3 episodes, let alone 123.
Well, maybe this will be our last one. Then we can retire, and I don't know, buy a boat. I don't know why a boat, because I like internet access and I really wouldn't have it, but a boat.
I say you don't like fish. All the
the fish
water.
scare me. So
it would get you out of having to do a giveaway in 2 weeks, so that's cool.
Now we've been giving away void whales every month, so
nice.
Make sure you tune in 2 weeks for the void whale. I had like £800 worth of bills go out this week, so yeah.
Okay, right. British pounds is money. I was saying like 800 pounds of bills. That's so many bills. What?
Yeah, all the bills here in England are lead weight.
Yeah. What do they send you bills on? Gold leaf?
I mean, with the amount they charge you, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
So what have you been up to, both in real life and in game?
Well, real life has been wild. In game has been wild too. Everything's wild. Everything's crazy right now. I left my job at Checkpoint XP. I say left. I was told to leave my job at Checkpoint XP. So I became a free agent for the first time since 2014, 2013. I don't know, whenever LBR started. Or started back up, I should say. I don't really remember. So I became a free agent, and people kept telling me I need to, take some time and discover myself. And I'm like, man, I'm all about discovering myself. I already did that when I started Hormones. Like I've discovered enough about myself. I don't want to know anything else. So instead of just sitting around doing nothing, I decided I'd like to start working on my own brand. And that's kind of what I've been up to over the last week, especially. And yeah.
Do you want to plug that brand right here? Because I'm going to give you all episodes to constantly plug that brand. So.
Absolutely. So I don't have like a spiffy name at it. It's basically just Eskalia Uncensored, Unfiltered, whatever you want to call it. It's my own brand. It's me. We're built around 5 tenets on our brand. Those 5 tenets being gaming, because it would be really hard to pivot away from gaming at this point in my career. Film, which is actually like probably my number one passion in life. I love movies. I love film. Tabletop gaming and role play, I love Dungeons and Dragons. I've played Star Wars, Song of Ice and Fire, End of the World, D&D 3, 4, and 5 edition, all over the place with tabletop and roleplay. And then the other two tenets are LGBTQIA inclusivity, as a trans woman myself, obviously very important to me. And then finally, sexual and kink positivity are all major tenets of the brand. You can follow me on Twitter at Eskalia, and you can check out the Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/Eskalia, where we're streaming every day this week, building up to a big fundraiser stream on Saturday. So in just, good Lord, 2 days' time, we're going to be doing that at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Where we're going to be playing Final Fantasy VIII, and we're going to be beating it this weekend. So, yeah.
In my opinion, the third best Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, right? I think 11 definitely had the biggest impact on me, but I'd have to really stretch my reasoning to say it's the best.
If I'm including MMOs, probably 5 then. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely... If we're including the MMOs, yeah, it's probably up there around 5. I mean, Final Fantasy VIII is... For me, probably number 3 behind 9 and 6. And then you got 11 and 14 coming in kind of right after it. So, yeah, I love FF8. It is my favorite in the series, even if I don't think it's the best in the series. So I'm looking forward to just kind of getting in and playing and hopefully raising some money for new streaming equipment and having a good time.
See, 7 for me pushes itself into the top 5 just by default. Because without Final Fantasy VII, Europe would never have been able to experience Final Fantasy games because 1 to 6 came after 7 here. So
that's right. 1 through 6 came after 7. Right, you guys didn't get a release of 1 through 6?
No, not until PS1. So.
Tibiant Salt says FF8 is special. The first time you heard words in Final Fantasy, my jaw dropped.
Oh, yeah.
When do you hear words in FF8? Oh, you hear the Fidos. Yeah, okay. Yeah. The songs. That makes sense. Oh, and Eyes on Me. Duh.
Yeah.
Stares at my linear history at Final Fantasy.
Don't worry. 13 is a good game too.
It is?
It is. I said good game. I didn't say good Final Fantasy.
I've only played Final Fantasy 13, a little bit of 13 too, then obviously 14, and then 15.
I would say no game, but 14. So.
Well, listen, 14 is obviously wonderful. I've really enjoyed coming back to it. Obviously, when I left Final Fantasy 14 at the conclusion of Limit Break Radio, I was about as burned out as you can be on a video game. But I've been able to come back to it a good bit over the last year, and yeah, I found a nice home to come back to because it's every bit as fun as I remember it being.
I do need to level up my crystal oat one day so I can join you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sausage content. That's my Balmung alt.
What is it? Sausage content?
Yeah.
I dig it.
It was an old. I pronounced savage content bad and said sausage content instead of savage, so it ended up making up as a character.
I like it. I mean, I had a League of Legends account named Barry McBronzy, so I got you.
Yeah, but no, I loved 7 as I said before because it was my first Final Fantasy game. It was like Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest 8 was our first one.
Well, we all have a special place in our heart for our first one, right? Like I always have to check myself because Final Fantasy IX was my first Final Fantasy game, and I also argue that it's the best one in the series. And I always have to kind of second guess, okay, am I saying that because it was my first one, or am I saying that because I actually believe that? Over the years, I've kind of settled on, no, I do actually believe that it is the best if I look at it objectively. But there's arguments to be made for 6. There's arguments to be made for 7. There's not really an argument to be made for 8, even though it's my favorite. There's just too much wrong with it. I know a lot of people love 10.
I like the spell system of 8. As much as most people hate the draw system, I actually really enjoy the junction system because I never really used magic anyway in most Final Fantasy games unless I have to. So I like the junction.
You got it though. I love the junctioning system. I hate the drawing system. Yeah, I get why people don't like drawing. It's boring. But the junction system, the idea of boosting your character up through equipping your magic to the different slots, especially if you're not much of a magic user, then yeah, I totally get it. I loved FF8's leveling system and junction system. But yeah, the drawing stuff is boring.
At least as an adult, I realized now that you can just use the card system to do it rather than having to draw. But as a kid, I was too dumb to do that. I was just draw.
Yeah. Chili, you got those pro tier strats now. Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
tell people that all the time. Oh, I hated the draw system. Then you're doing it wrong. You don't actually draw anything. You turn things into cards, and then you turn those cards into items, which you then turn into spells. Ugh, scrub, get with it.
And plus, that way you don't level up, therefore the enemies are weaker.
Yeah, pretty much. If you finish the game at level 7, you're in good shape.
Yeah. But don't try and get Squall's ultimate weapon at the start of the game because it will drive you nuts. I've done that several times in my playthrough.
Yeah, I've done that twice. I'll tell you what, on our fundraiser stream, we are not going to be doing a Disc 1 Lionheart run because I am not farming 40 Elnoil cards ever again.
See, that's why I can't do like stream challenges like you're doing this weekend because in my head, I just grind to be wherever I can at the start. No matter what, like, I know I have to do 8, I can't grind, probably have to do card system, but like in 7, the last time I played through 7, I left Disc 1 with so powerful that I actually almost killed the Zolom snake right away.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what happens in 8, right? When you grind too much on Disc 1, when you get all the spells and all the stuff junctioned properly, then for the rest of the game, you basically like 2-shot bosses.
Yeah, and that's my problem. The stream would not enjoy that. It would not be. What are you doing? Well, it's been 12 hours of killing this one named mob.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
I did that on my first charity stream. I did that. We got into Dalit, and I must have sat just on Cypher. I had Cypher kill Squall and Zell, so they couldn't level up, and I put all my GFs on him and just let him level up those GFs for like an hour. And I'm like, is this good content? I don't know that this is good content.
But to be fair, there's people out there that like that madness. Our actual biggest stream of all time was during. Do you remember Ishgard Restoration?
Oh, viscerally.
I spent 12 hours fishing on stream, just fishing for 12 hours.
First of all, I'm so sorry. I can't believe you maintained your sanity through that.
I had to do fishing for 15 hours a day for 9 days in a row. So yeah,
sounds awful.
It was. I wanted to cry.
Yeah,
I really wanted to cry. You could hear the madness getting in my voice by the end of the. I got the title, but
yeah,
it wasn't
I
worth
quickly
it.
accepted that I was just going to be the beta of the server. What's it called? Beta of the firmament.
Yeah, the betas. I think it is.
Yeah. I call. Listen, I know what they wanted to say. They wanted to call me a beta male. I get it.
Like, what put the fire in my heart was the fact that when I started off thinking I was going to do it. As Susan says, I'm a proud beta. You know, I was too
Beautiful,
until.
So am I.
And I was until the last one when I was like, you know what, I'm going to try. Yeah, the first day I thought, I'm going to try, see how I do. And, if I get it, I get it. If not, I won't. Day 2, I saw people shouting in the chat saying that, oh, we're trying to get it just so that other people can't get it. I'm like, I kind of want to get it now.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're almost like, all right, well, screw you then.
Yeah, they were like, there was a couple of people that had it already, had it from previous previous rounds, and they're like, yeah, we want to make sure it's so limited that only a couple of people have it on our server, so we're gonna try and steal it so that even though we can't get it again, they could get in the top 10, but they can't get another title. It's the same title each time. So they're like, oh, so that nobody else on the server can get it, we're gonna do it. I'm like, well, I'm gonna steal it from you then. I don't care how much madness I'm gonna go through. I'm getting that title.
Absolutely, good for you.
1 million points of fish later.
Ooh.
1 million points. I think each fish was like 1,500 points. So that's how much fish I caught. For anyone that wants to know,
that's a lot of fish. In the words of Ferris Bueller, that's a lot of fish.
There was a lot of desynth as well. I actually capped my desynth thanks to that. Charge rate fishing is evil unless you're ocean fishing. That's the best fishing. I don't
get my fish up to level 80. That is the fastest job to level 80 I have ever leveled up.
I mean, all crafters are really fast now.
Yeah, exactly. Just spam those freaking what are they called? Jeez.
Ocean fishing?
Levs. Spam levs and you'll have it leveled up in no time.
Don't do levs. Save levs.
Don't do levs.
Save the levs. Do Ishgard Restoration.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. I got fishing to 80 in about 2 hours.
Oh, well. Well,
yeah, it was pretty quick.
Do you know the coffee biscuit strat?
I do know the coffee biscuit strat. That's why I got Culinarian to level 80.
Father Fenway Chili's fishing stream was something to behold. Well, thank you. Hopefully that's a good thing. Episode title, that's a lot of fish. Yeah, maybe.
There we go.
But what were you saying, Paul? Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just talking about ocean fishing.
Oh, yeah, ocean fishing. I went back only just so I could get the seagull minion and the dolphin minion. So
I wanted the mount. That's what I wanted, and I got it. So I was like, yay. I didn't
Yeah.
want to go for the titles, but then in the end, I was like, I'm not really playing Final Fantasy that much anyway. It's like everyone's like, I was looking at Mioni's stream, and I saw his thing today where it's like, this is my 11th or no, my 10th like resistant weapon, and I'm like, I haven't done bloody 1 yet.
Yeah, I know. I gotta go do mine, and I'm just like, I'm stuck on the friggin' phase where you gotta do 18 Void Arc and 18 Rab Nasties. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
I'm still on the Crystal Tower.
The Crystal Tower one I eventually just got by doing Alliance Raid every day, but like I can't. I can't. I hate Rab Nasty.
I'm lucky I did a lot of this when it was, first came out. So there was a lot of Blue Mage pies, and Blue Mage just cheese all of it.
I'm gonna have to do like a stream where I just grind out that weapon and let the chat keep me from losing my mind.
Yep, go follow them on twitch.tv/Eskalia to do that.
What a plug! What a pro! I love it.
But no, I would recommend if you can find Blue Mage pies for the Alliance raids, do that because I can't remember what the ice move is called now. Ram's Voice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Ram's Voice plus Ultra Vibration actually kills all the trash mobs in the 24-man raid instantly.
Oh, well, that's really good.
Yeah, so you only actually have to kill the main bosses. So
I like it. Maybe I'll actually level up Blue Mage.
Get a friend to level you. It takes about, I would say, if you want to do the cheese, it takes about an hour and a half to go from 1 to 70.
Jeez.
Maybe 2 hours. You just go to a high level area. Okay, I'm sure. Please don't go after Square Enix, even though you're never going to listen to this anyway. Who knows?
Listen, I promise you, Square Enix will ban me if they ban anybody.
Yeah. To go to the salts, the salt area, I think it's called, or a highish level for your level. The only move you need to make sure is you have the fish throwing move, which you can get from Costa del Sol from the Apocalypse. Get that move because it's an instant cast. Then what you do is you go to an enemy. You have a friend, of course, a high max level friend of any job, specifically a DPS if possible at ranged. A black mage, red mage, a white mage, or something like that has a ranged DPS. Bard, dancer, blah blah blah. You pull the enemy with your fast attack. They kill it. You get the credit, but because of the fact the enemy's level 70, you get a crap ton of XP.
Oh, interesting. I know what job I'm leveling up tonight.
Yeah. So, and plus because...
Do you use the fish move because it's a guaranteed hit?
No, it's not a guaranteed hit, it's just insta-cast, so that way you can just keep running around.
Oh, easy enough.
Yeah. I don't think you actually have to hit the enemy, you just have to, target, make it so you marked it, sort of thing. You have to hit. Yeah.
Huh, I like it.
Then you can just run around, and you will level up fast.
All right,
and then, of course, you actually have the grind.
Blue Mage.
You do have to then go after the spells, which takes a while. The spells I would recommend first is Basic Instinct, the Ultra Vibration, the Ram's Voice that I said, and April Manipulation. Those are the 5 key spells. That's hard.
Okay. Sounds fun.
Basic Instinct, just because Blue Mage has the ability to have a tank stance called Mighty Guard, which lowered your damage and movement speed originally. But Basic Instinct, if you're going into a dungeon on your own, say it's a normal 4-person dungeon, but you unsync it on your own, Basic Instinct removes the damage decrease by Mighty Guard, also increases your healing potency, increases your damage potency, and increases your movement speed.
Jesus.
Yeah, so basically you gain a shit ton of stats.
All right, I'm going to level up Blue Mage. I'm going to do it.
Nice.
Shout out to that Blue Mage that gave me a stack of roast chicken on stream when I was doing the relic. Shout out to you. He was just doing they were just doing fates. They invited me because I was doing fates at the same time, obviously going after the crystals. And I was just wandering around, and it's like he just trades me, and I'm like, huh? What? And he just gives me like a stack full of smoked chicken. I'm like, oh, that's my raid food done. I don't have to do that ever again.
Very nice.
Yeah, I just didn't know who it was. It's a random nice guy. Oh, nice woman, person, that person. Shout out to you. Can't remember your name though. I think I might have something with a C. It'll come to me at some point.
I got my master books on culinary recently. Actually, I somehow learned crafting, and I looked at you know what? Now I can craft my raid food. Looked at the ingredients needed for it. Like, maybe I won't craft raid food.
Yep, bunch of time nodes.
Yeah.
Time nodes. I think the worst part is that the time for the rock. I think you have to do like the aether sand. I don't think it's aether sand, but it's like some sort of aether, and like I had to do it for our crafter on EU, make pots and stuff. So I had to like do all that, and that's fun. It's
Oh no, I
not.
just saw there was like 6 ingredients for one food. I'm like,
Mhm.
my item space. I don't have 6 item spaces. Who has 6 item spaces? Do you have 6 item spaces, Eskalia? Do you? Because I
At
don't know
any
how.
given moment, I have 0 inventory. I am the worst about keeping my inventory clean. I have like 30 item spaces taken up by firmament stuff that I'm never going to use. I have like 15 taken up by materia of all different ranks that I'm never going to use or sell, and I should just NPC. I've got like 10 more taken up by food, only one of which I use. I'm the worst about inventory space. I sit here complaining like I don't have any inventory space, and it's 100% a self-inflicted wound.
I mean, I'm the same. I mean, I'm so bad at hoarding that I've made a retainer. She's named Fish Holder, and her existence is to hold my ocean fish.
What an incredible existence that must be. They must really like it's the Rick and Morty bit. Master, what is my purpose? You hold fish. Oh my god!
What's my name? Fish Holder.
That's brutal. I'm telling you what. I'm glad my parents may not have named me the right gender, but they definitely didn't name me fish holder.
Look, at least you're.
And there's your sister, fish holder too.
Talk about names. Oh, I still remember the fact that my name is so long because my mum couldn't really like write it down because when I was she was ill when I was born. So my granddad was the one who did it, and he realized that none of his family was in my name, so he decided to put another name in my name just so that his family had representation as well. And that's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why I have so many names. So if anyone wants to know why I'm called Benjamin Thomas William Shillabere Hall, that's one of the reasons. He added William.
First of all, prior to transitioning, my middle name was also William, so I can get that. But that is some next level stuff by your grandfather.
They're not in my name, so let's just add it. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what mine did as well. Like, I think my Irish put Colin, and then like the other half put Francis, and like my actual name Paul. I'm actually named after a goddamn bar owner that gave my mum £100 when she was pregnant. So I was just named after a bar owner. It was great.
Worst thing to be named.
I'm middle name is. I wish I was that. Because every time
you
I
can
get
take one of my names if you want.
Yeah, just give people names.
Does anyone want to take
Francis, Colin,
Thomas? But no, back to Final Fantasy XIV. So yeah, what inspired you to come back to the game?
Yeah, so for those who have been Limit Break Radio listeners, it won't shock you to learn that when we ended Limit Break Radio and started putting our focus towards Checkpoint, we were all pretty burned out. We had been playing the game steadily many of us since 1.0, and Limit Break Radio was running weekly at that point, and we were getting pretty burnt out having to come up with 3 hours of content surrounding the game. You started getting more and more bits and stuff surrounding the game instead of things talking directly about it. And then Stormblood came out, and it certainly was not my favorite expansion by any stretch of the imagination. That really was kind of what did it, where I was just like, I'm done. I can't play anymore. And really what brought me back was just having some time away. So much of my focus became about esports, and so I was following League of Legends, and I was following Overwatch really heavily. And then looking for time away from those games, I started just looking around for stuff that I could play, and I remembered that everyone was telling me that Shadowbringers was so great, and Shadowbringers is so good, and I'm sitting here like, yeah, but you people liked Stormblood too, and I don't know. So it took me a while before I was willing to dip a toe back in, but around 5.2, maybe the tail end of 5.1, I decided to try it out and see how much I liked it. And about the time I got to the infamous Tesleen cutscene in Amarang, I was sold. I was like, okay, no, it's actually poor Tesleen. Yeah, F's in the chat for Tesleen. By the time we got to that cutscene, I was pretty well sold on I was coming back to the game and I was going to be playing again. Which is, I mean, then to say like it doesn't like go downhill from there. The story gets better and better all the way through that 5.0 run of Shadowbringers, and by the end of it, like I'm sitting here like I just saw my favorite cutscene they've ever put in the game. They finally have managed to get our Warriors of Light to emote properly. Like, our facial expressions actually mean something and convey stuff now, which is super cool. And yeah, by the time I had finished up Shadowbringers 5.0, I was back in hard, and I'm still catching up.
Yeah, I'm happy they learnt from like Shadowbringers, not from Shadowbringers, but from Stormblood. With Stormblood, they tried to direct it between two stories, so it wasn't a main focus story.
Right. Well, I think that. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that's the part I didn't like, because you had a very traditional kind of, I think if I'm using my words correctly, Asian aesthetic, and then you had you had Alamigo, and I was just like, I just didn't like the Alamigan part. It was just
sloppy.
It was just sloppy.
Well, it's wild too, because people fall on either side of it, which one you liked more. But most people agreed that they didn't like that there was both. And I saw, like, what they were trying to do was employing the same themes in both of them to try and show that the story that is happening in one is happening everywhere in the world. And we've seen an expansion of that as we've moved into Bozja and Wurlit and Zhanxia and other areas that we've heard about. We've come to understand that the story that was being told in Alamigo and the story that was being told in Doma is a story that is playing out all across Hydaelyn, or at least on our continent. And the issue that I just think is, like, people either got invested in that bit in Alamigo at the beginning and they wanted to know what was going to happen next there, or they got invested in the Doma section and didn't want to go back to Alamigo, and it just didn't work out quite the way they wanted to. What they were hoping is that the stories and themes would be so similar in both places that you really wouldn't notice the transition, but I noticed it. For me, the Alamigo part was, like, the selling point. That last two levels, level 69 and 70, as you make the push from the fringes into the peaks and into the locks and finally assaulting Alamigo itself, is some of my favorite storytelling in all of FF14. Like, it's really, really good and powerful in my opinion. And it's just, there was like 8 other levels that was just okay.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, I think it was good in a sense at the ending, when it was kind of like they're rounding it off. It was just, the beginning was sluggish. It was like I was starting a new character.
Yeah,
when it's like the first levels are absolute bad and sluggish, and then you get to the good part.
The first 2 levels in both Alamigo and Doma are a slog. Like, the whole section in the Ruby Sea is just brain numbing. Yeah. But to your point, my wife prefers the Doma section, but that's because she's Alra, Zayla, and she liked the Azim Steps. So
that was really good.
I like the Azim Steps as well, to be honest.
But you turn your attention to Shadowbringers, and they did a much better job of telling one cohesive story in one setting that was super interesting. And you made your villain not suck, which is probably the most important thing, because for as much as we complain about Stormblood and different parts of Stormblood, if Xenos had been more engaging and more interesting, we'd have forgiven an awful lot of that. But he's not. He was really bland and really not interesting. And then you get to Shadowbringers, and it's made all the more obvious how bland and uninteresting he is when you meet Emmett Selk, who is just a way better villain.
Father Fenway says, I think I'm the only person who likes Stormblood more than Heavensward. That said, I'd like to feed Lise to a crocodile. And then Chad responded with poor crocodile.
Crocodile. Okay, so not a lot of Lise love in the chat. Gotcha there. Yeah, no, right? Like, I liked Heavensward a lot. Specifically, though, it's the 3.1 to 3.3 section of Heavensward. Right up to the ending of Nidhogg, I think, is some spectacular storytelling. 3.4 and 3.5 were a little weak in my opinion, but I don't know that I would say I liked it less than Stormblood. I thought Stormblood was pretty good. That said, the final cutscene of the Stormblood main MSQ, where they sing the national anthem as it's supposed to be, was very powerful and still makes me get all misty.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. But it doesn't do such a good job of highlighting how evil, evil's not even the right word, because that is how you assimilate a nation that you've taken over, as you do things like that. It is a really nice touch to the Garleans, and especially to Gaius, who we find out in those stories was actually a pretty good ruler of Alamigo before he was defeated. he was doing actually a pretty good job of integrating those two cultures and doing the things you need to do to take over a culture. It's just Xenos was less good at it.
Yeah. Well, Xenos just knows sword sharp, me stab things.
Yeah, exactly. He's not interested in, assimilating these people into the culture of Garlemald. He was interested in they will bend the knee or die, and I don't really care which one they choose.
And you brought it up on the Limit Break Radio. Well, it was brought up on the Limit Break Radio episode, but I've been saying this for a while now, and I'm one of the few people that have said it first, that I feel like Xenos is going to be our Vegeta.
Is going to be Uppedir?
Our Vegeta.
Our Vegeta. Yeah. Oh my god. No. Please.
Yes. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
I can't deal with that. Listen, you're trying to build him up as the arbiter of chaos, right? He's meant to be the all I want is one more fight with you, and I get the parallels to Vegeta there, right? Because Vegeta at the end of the day wants that one more fight with Goku. He wants to prove he's better than Goku.
And that's what Xenos wants to do. That's all he wants to do.
I know that that's the thing. I don't know that he wants to prove he's better than us. He just wants to fight us again. He just wants to have that glorious moment of combat with us again, where we try our hardest and he tries his hardest. But we got to remember that Vegeta's arc involved him, the Namek saga, where he had to was kind of forced to work with Gohan and Krillin, and then we got into the Android saga, which had a time skip where he's now met Bulma and has fallen in love with somebody. He meets Trunks, who we find out is his kid. He went through a whole bunch of stages, and even then, he still turned evil in the Buu saga, and it was only at the end of the Buu saga where he redeems himself, finally, and truly becomes a good guy. But, I don't know that we have enough time for Xenos to pull that arc.
I'm saying that he will be still in Namek Saga by the end of the expansion, end of 6.0 story.
No.
Right?
Or is he going to be the Time Skip Saga?
Are you telling me we're going to have to put up with him beyond 6.0, you're telling me?
Yeah, I feel like we are. I don't feel like... Okay, I feel like we are going to, but I don't think they're going to use him right away. I still feel like we're going to lose most of the Scions, and we're going to have, a new team. Alice, I feel like it's good. Alisate, Alphino... It
can't be Xenos.
Alisate, Alphino, Gratia, Estinian, and the rest leave at the end of 6.0.
So I think there's two conversations there, right? One, yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. I think we are going to lose a bunch of Scions. I think we are about to learn in the worst of ways that war has casualties on everybody. War claims things from everyone. I think we've seen that very effectively demonstrated in Alphino's story in 5.4 and 5.5, where his whole "we can be better, there is a better way," that's going to be tested, and he's going to have to really dig deep to stick to those convictions if he wants to. But I think it is going to come at the expense of a couple of our Scions. I think we're going to lose some. I think Grahatia is going to die, personally, but we'll see. I'll be very sad, and I'll have to console my wife, who will never stop crying. But
yeah, a lot of
God, don't say that. Resna's going to be crying. Resna's probably in tears right now. Sorry, Resna. Grahatia is going to live on. He'll never
exactly. Die. It's not actually going to happen, I promise. But Xenos, my issues with Xenos, is, again, as our comparison to Vegeta, we have to remember, they make fun of it in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, right? Vegeta did not kill anybody when he came to Earth. Not for lack of trying, mind you, but he didn't kill anybody. You've got Xenos, who is a war criminal and is very evil. It's the same thing we ran into with Tsukiyomi, right?
But Xenos hasn't really killed any hasn't really killed any good named characters.
Not named characters, but there's a lot of Alamegans who are he's a monster. He's a butcher.
He also,
so are we though.
Technically we have as well. Yeah.
So technically we are both butchers.
Yeah, but we have the advantage of being the hero of the game. So, us murdering people is fine. Yeah, we have the plot armor. I feel like Xenos, they have really gone out. My guess for how this ends is Xenos becomes the avatar of Zodiark. We become the avatar of Heidelin. We fight each other. We'll defeat Xenos, and hopefully that is the end of his story.
I mean, yeah,
But
that's why we go to the moon. I felt like that since I said that we're going to have like some sort of giant anime battle where we become Heidelin, he becomes Zodiac, and we're fighting on the moon, so it doesn't really matter what kind of destruction we do because it's the moon.
Well, and you've already done your redemption arc with Gaius and your redemption arc with Fordola. Man, you're really running that plot line thin to do another one.
By the way, when I say I don't feel like he's going to get redeemed, I feel like he's just going to be someone that pops up and challenges us every so often.
Okay, that I could actually see, because you're right, they may not kill him off for good here. There's no way they redeem him. I do believe that Fordola is going to be one of the main scions moving forward. Graha, if he survives, Estinian is going to become the new kind of wizened, like, veteran of the group, the gritty veteran. Graha's the one I'm really torn on, because if they really wanted to make Xenos evil, they'd kill him. And if they don't want to do that to Xenos, then you keep him around, and you have him be kind of the idealistic, almost youth to the group, despite the fact that he's the oldest one there.
Yeah. Now, I also feel like, what's his name? I can never remember his name. He was in with Fordola in that cutscene.
Oh, yeah, Arenvald.
Arenvald. I feel like he might replace Tartaru as the, like, Scion's base person.
I think Tataru makes it. I think she survives through this. I did, by the way, that whole bit with Arenvald where he shows up and it's like, oh, right, you, the person that I care about and definitely feel things about. What's your name again?
I was like, that's really nice, but... And they're like, oh, I can't walk. I'm like, come on.
Bummer.
We have Sid. Give him one patch and you're going to get Magitech legs at some point.
Exactly. Like, it was a weird moment of like, I know you're trying to make me care about this character, but it's been a minute. Like, we haven't really seen him since Stormblood, and I'll be honest with you, I don't remember what I did with him in Stormblood. I don't remember why he was relevant. So if you're trying to get me mad, you need someone better.
It's like, I remember, oh yeah, he was there to help us with Big Bosom Lady. Well, oh wait.
Yeah, that's about what I remember. Like, if you want to get me mad, you're going to have to hurt someone else a lot more than Arenvald. Like, you want to get me mad, murder Y'shtola. Now I'm mad. Now I'm ready to go to war. I think I mentioned it on the Limit Break Radio episode, but if they want to really set up Endwalker, there needs to be a scene where Xenos approaches you and he's finally got you out alone. He's finally caught you out somewhere. And it's like, I'm not waiting any longer. I have it. He gets his cool scythe out, and he just strikes an awesome pose, and it's just like, face me now, warrior of light. Let us do this. We are destined for one another. And you go very reasonably, no, you're a psychopath. I'm leaving. I have things to do. And he says, all right then, and he pulls Thancred's head out of a bag and throws it at you. And then you go, oh. All right, well, I guess it's on then. I guess the kidding around's pretty much over.
Yeah, I can see him doing that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they would show it like that, but like that's what I would do if I was in charge, and that's why they will never let me be in charge.
Oh, will they? I'll forward it.
I'll tell you what. The day a Limit Break Radio alum is writing story for Final Fantasy XIV, yeah, that'll be the day.
Look, it became a meme on our channel that I work for them just because I get a few predictions right occasionally.
Listen, you can put in a good word for me then.
Yeah, I will. I will forward it to the heads. I'll contact Yoshi P after this podcast to be like, look, I know the story's been written already, and you've already probably done some of the cutscenes, but can you just add this for me? I'll take a pay cut from 0 to 0, but you know.
Tibby and Salts in the chat mentioning, like, yeah, I don't want anyone to die for the sake of it, but the shock factor of a Scion being killed in a non-dramatic fashion, like, every time someone dies or almost dies in the case of Y'shtola, it's in this big, grand sacrifice. Can you imagine that moment where, like, we don't even know when it happened, but apparently Xenos showed up and butchered somebody, and the final word we get to say to either Thancred or Urianger or Y'shtola is them having their head thrown at us, like, and you would be ready to murder Xenos. You'd be like, all right, cool, you're a villain now. Congratulations, let's go. Because as much as we don't want to just kill people for the sake of, like, we don't want to fridge somebody, right? We don't want to kill someone for the sake of killing them. But you have a villain that you have thus far failed to get over as the villain, at least to the North American audience. I don't know how the Japanese audience feels about him. But at least to the North American audience, I don't feel like he's really gotten himself over as a villain. He's just a stopgap most often to us. If you want to get him really over, you do that scene, and you don't put any big dramatic music for it. You just have a really quiet scene where he tosses you the head of one of your friends and says, "Fight me," or more will join him. And you go, "All right, then." You see your Warrior of Life do the Warrior of Light, rather, do the gritted teeth, get real angry. Maybe they do the power-up animation or whatever. That'd be sick. And then they bust their weapon out, and the fight's on. I'm into it.
And for anyone that's bored, here's moaning Xenos.
What's that?
No one in Discord can hear it, but I'm playing Xenos moaning over and over again right now in the stream.
Well, Xenos would definitely moan at the idea of getting to murder a Scion to challenge us to a fight.
It's a bit more sexual, but okay.
No, I'm aware. That is exactly the kind of moan he would make at that idea. If I went into the Imperial Palace right now and said to Xenos, "Hey, in the next expansion, Xenos, you're going to get to murder a Scion, and it's going to make the Warrior of Light so angry that they're going to power up to their maximum potential and fight you," he would be rock hard by the time I finish that sentence.
He would. Yeah, if we said we want to stick our sticks right into him, he'd be like, "Yes."
Yeah, he'd be like, "Penetrate me, mommy."
But
honestly,
no.
I kind of want Xenos over Estilian, honestly. Like,
yeah, I would
like,
rather Xenos over Estinian any day.
Actually, no, I don't like. I really want Xenos because Xenos. I don't know. He's a big guy, big expectations. Well, but big power level. I just find him cool. Like,
well, I find him cool. I just hate Estinian with everything I have in my body.
Oh, that too.
Oh, so much Estinian hate. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought everyone loved Estinian.
Hell no.
No, I hate the guy.
No? Okay,
We went to kill him on the bridge.
Yeah.
Tibian mentioned. Well, I will say the moment where Imeric yells, "Now cast them into the abyss." I'm sitting there like, that's a bad idea. Someone's gonna go get them.
Yeah, too. So I said, yes, I don't want to die for the sake of it. I don't want anyone to die for the sake of it, but the shock factor of the Scions being killed in a non-dramatic fashion, God, can you imagine it?
I think we just talked about that.
Yeah, the thing that it actually hates. Yeah, Estinian is the only thing I hate.
Yeah, he mentions also, I just want to see my Warrior of Light incandescent with rage. And that is so important because we spent so much time in this expansion seeing our Warrior of Light go through other emotions. We saw them understand frustration, and we saw them understand failure. We saw them understand fear and defeat. Like, we saw them get to live through some very different emotions than we've ever gotten to really watch our Warrior of Light go through, with the exception of maybe the Bloody Banquet. We got to see them go through so many different things, right down to the moment where they're sitting there choking up light ether. And sure, Square Enix, it's light ether, I'm sure.
That's what I like to call it.
That's what it is, right? No one took that any other way, I'm sure. I'm sure there's no porn about that. Anyway, we got to see our Warrior of Light struggle so much with different emotions, and one of them that we've really never gotten to play with is blind rage. We've never seen our Warrior of Light get so angry that they lose control, and I would love to get that moment where we get so angry at something in the next expansion that we just go utterly ham. I'm into it.
The issue is, though, for some people, that would be fine. Like, for Callie, she would look amazing. For Paul's character, that would look amazing. My Lalafell, it would ruin the moment.
I tell you, Lalafell getting angry is, I think I'm into that. I think that's going to be funny as hell. You're going to just get a great moment.
It's going to be funny. It's just not going to be as serious looking. Like, everyone else would look really cool and serious. Then it'll be, I hate you.
I'm just gonna be so happy when I can be a bunny boy.
Yes, the bunny boys are coming. Endwalker is going to be... Man, I'm not going to be able to go into quicksand anymore. It's just going to be sticky. I can't... man, bunny boys are going to be an interesting experience.
I'm going to have a lovely time.
Think about it. Canonically, the bunny boys literally go to their village and impregnate like 50 Vieira and then leave. Like, how people are going to roleplay these things like... It's going to be terrifying.
Is that how the Cat Boys were as well anyway, weren't they? If I'm rightly.
Well, the Nuns, I suppose. Yeah. The Tias, not so much. But but then again, if you're role playing yourself as a Nun, get over yourself.
Wait, why? Streamlabs, why are you timing people out?
I don't know. Please refrain from using foul language. What did someone drop?
What foul language did you use?
I couldn't see any.
They only used piss. Is piss a foul language?
Hey, nummy numpy, by the way. What?
Streamlabs.
I don't even have that on.
Trinity, what have you done?
I haven't turned censorship on. Why would I? It's Moogle Go Round. You can say pretty much anything here. Hey.
That's good to know. I keep saying all these things, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm allowed to say that.
No, you can say anything you want.
I've said like nearly anything under the mun. Like
we're trying to behave because, but no, seriously, you can say.
You're trying to
word.
behave on my account? No, don't behave on my account. Good lord,
Well,
I'm behaving. I'm just have ambient music literally banging through the wall.
I was just gifted a tier 1 sub.
Woo! Nice. What too? Congratulations
to Robbie's channel.
Yay!
Apparently. I'm not even on Robbie's channel right now. How nice.
Let me show out Robbie Landis, I guess.
Robbie _ Landis also streaming all around here.
I did shout out Limit Break Radio when you were talking about it, but then it said World of Warcraft they were playing it, and I felt like I didn't want to do it. I wish I could go back and remove the shout out.
Yeah, Strife, because Strife splits time between Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, so.
Yeah. Look, I'm happy with World of Warcraft. I tried it last year for the first time ever. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. It was okay. Went back to Final Fantasy XIV straight away, but it was an experience.
I played World of Warcraft throughout Wrath of the Lich King while also playing Final Fantasy XI, and I came back real briefly in whatever the one expansion before this one was. I can't remember. And it was fine. Yeah, BFA. And it was fine, but I like 14 more because I get to play a sexy cat girl. So,
What Nami said was, I can't stand Emmett Cell. He was my favorite villain to hate, and now I want him back so bad. Now, if you really want to piss off the warrior, kill Tataru. Yeah, don't kill. If you kill Tataru, I will murder everyone and everyone you care about.
See, Square Enix can't do that to me no more because they already took away the love of my life. It's just, why do I even play? Yep, Moonbreeder.
Moonbreeder was in the game for like 7 minutes.
I know, and I loved her. And then it's gone. I was like, oh.
If you summed up her screen time, I think it would be shorter than a commercial break.
I just liked it, and I was like so upset that she was gone. I was like, really? No more ephemeral? Okay, that's fine. So I'll just walk away, sad.
Wait, can I ask an ignorant American question of my British host here?
Sure, fire away.
Okay. Are panel comedy shows as big in Britain as it seems like they must be over here in America?
They can be, yes.
So, in my household, one of my my brother-in-law, my roommate, is very into a show called Would I Lie to You? And like Mock the Week, Would I Lie to You, and Something and a Half Cats.
That's Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr's show. Yeah, 8 out of 10 cats, that's it.
I thought you could bring up Never Mind the Buzzcocks for a second there.
No, I don't know that one. And to me, it was exactly what I'm going to get. Bob Mortimer, he was trying to get me into watching this with him, and he just showed me a couple of clips of Bob Mortimer performing on Would I Lie to You? And I'm sitting there like, this might be peak comedy. This might be funnier than anything America has ever come up with.
Shooting Stars is my favorite panel show. It couldn't be done today because it was quite offensive in certain areas, especially to one guest, an actress called Eureka Johnson. They bullied her quite a lot, which was mean, but they were friends. By the way, off screen, they're all friends. She was a recurring person on the show. But no, that had a man dressed as a baby doing the points, and they had the scene where they just went ooh as a dove came from the sky with the questions on. It was Jesus. It was an interesting show.
I just had to ask because I'm sitting there like, these shows are hilarious. Like, I wonder if these are actually big over in Britain or not.
Yeah, you'll mostly find them on Dave, right, Paul?
Good old Dave, yeah, good old Dave.
Yeah, Dave. Dave is a channel here, by the way.
Dave and E4 sometimes.
Yeah, E4.
Your Father Fenway, you might be underselling some of our comedy. Like, yes, we do have Amy Schumer and Carrot Top. That is not, I would say, the height of American comedy. Good lord.
Quick question, what is the theme?
I think we might have to say, George Carlin might be the height of American comedy.
The theme is the fact that we get distracted by stuff. But by the way, if you've got any more questions about British stuff, please fire away. We're happy to answer anything. Even in the chat, we don't mind. It's Moogle Go Round. We get random.
The theme of the day is, what do you want to talk about in FF14?
Yeah. Nom says, I like Moonbreeder also. There was a short little flirt story that never got to happen. Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't never read her doll story thing that you get. The other wind up Moonbreeder. Yeah. Never read that. It's cursed.
I've read it.
It's cursed. Please don't read it.
So she's super into Urianger, which I liked, because he's a giant nerd, and since then though we have had our giant nerd quota filled by Graha, who is the biggest dork that has ever been on our team, and I love him.
Yeah, but at least Graha hasn't made a love doll of the character that passed away and then gave it to us as a minion.
No, he has a love doll of the Warrior of Light, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, he sleeps with the Warrior of Light body pillow. Can we just confirm that is for sure a thing?
That is a thing.
Like, and Ali steals it.
I still feel like some characters are Warrior of Light sexual. Like their main thing is the Warrior of Light. No matter what race you are or gender, they love the Warrior of Light.
Yep, we're playing Mass Effect 3 right now a lot on my Twitch channel, and there's a lot of people who are Commander Shepard sexual. Like, it doesn't matter what Shepard you are, they're Shepard sexual. There are plenty of characters who are Warrior of Light sexual.
Which is a bit weird when it comes to the fact that, well, I guess we know from Costa del Sol that Lalafel's, if anyone's seen the NPC, or the one in, nobody's quoted the one from Camp Drybone. That's my favourite one. Have you seen the Lalafell in Camp Drybone?
Please many a woman in his 50 and 5 summers.
Yeah, but no, there's another one, right? There's another one that's my favourite. There's one that not many people notice it, but this one's my favourite. It's a male Lalafell sleeping in a bed in Camp Drybone, right?
Yeah.
And if you stand there for too long, eventually you'd be like, snore, snore, Robon, make me your sultana.
No, I have not heard that one.
Yeah, not many people notice him. You have to wait a little bit for him to actually say stuff sometimes because he has a dialogue loop. So gay
Lalafell confirmed. I'm into it.
Yeah, there's a little male Lalafell that's sleeping, dreaming of Robons.
Well, don't we all dream of Robon?
I mean, I met the voice actor. He's a lovely guy.
Sure he is.
Yeah, he made us. We all made him. Right? It was. I think it was 2019 now. We talked to him about the fact that, remember Robon Savage that happened in game?
Mm-hmm.
We ended up chatting with him about it, and so he decided during the panel to stand on stage, look away, and have everyone at the panel queue in front of him to do it in real life.
Oh my god, that's so good.
So we were all queued up in front of Robon to make Robon Savage real.
I love it.
That was the most, wholesome. It was like the most wholesome, weird thing that's ever happened.
We've seen it across different MMOs. Like when the one that springs to mind for me always is in Final Fantasy XI when they introduced your adventuring fellow, a partner you could summon to fight with you, which was it was revolutionary at the time, but in hindsight, what a garbage system that was. But to do it, you had to do a series of quests, and one of them required you to spawn a notorious monster to fight, and only one could be up at a time. So you went down into this area, this cave, to where the spawn was, and you would just see a line all the way to the entrance, basically, of people waiting their turn to spawn this enemy and fight it. And you had to wait 2 minutes in between spawns. It was a pain. But It was everyone was in really good spirits about it. Everyone was laughing and joking and unable to believe that this was actually working. And then there was, a couple people who obviously some people were like, hey, do you think this was good game design? I don't know if this was a great game design or not, but clearly they didn't learn their lesson.
Oh yeah, I was part of that line. I was in that line at the time. I played on Ashura back in Final Fantasy XI.
Yeah, so you know exactly what I'm talking about then.
Ashura.
I will always miss my character. Screw you, Square Enix, for making me lose my character.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I had my Mithra.
Yeah. Everyone knows the story, but I visited a friend. My IP was different. They switched my password thinking I got hacked, and then they wanted me to send what worse was they wanted my bank to sign a letter and fax it to them to get my account back.
Good lord.
So that's how I lost. I lost. I had the Absolute Virtue earrings on my character because a friend had killed it and they gave it to me as a gift. So I had one of the first pairs on Ashura. And then they were just gone.
Isn't it wild to think that as crazy as SE is today, they used to be more insane?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember back in the day where I used to go to Killing Ifrit and Blue Garter forums because the patch notes weren't really patch notes at the time. They were just here is an update. So I used to go to Blue Garter so I could look at the data mines just so I could find out what was actually added. It wasn't like now where to spoil myself or anything like that so I can see what's happening because we had to get patch notes now. But no, back in the day, you'd go there just so you could find out what was going on.
That's wild.
Kai said, this is a dumb question. I did reach out to your bank and they turned you down. Yeah, I reached out to my bank and they turned me down because they didn't want to send... Because I live in England. And what happened was I couldn't wait till... I didn't want to wait because back in the day, UK had to wait so long between games for Final Fantasy. It was an average between 6 to 8 months between release from North America and Europe. So I paid £100 to import the Final Fantasy 11 copy from the launch of North American release, which, by the way, at the time was $200 because £1 was $2. And I was in college at the time.
Game.
1.0
was rough.
No, I'm talking about 11.
Oh, 11. I'm sorry. Well, 11 at that point was always also rough.
1.0 burnt me as well. I played 1.0 during the free trial period, and then when they charged, I will say this: as much as 1.0 sucked, the content sucked. It buggy as hell. It was horrible, horrendous. At least they admitted that it was bad, and they didn't charge sub fee. Yeah,
listen, I took a week off work to play 14 1.0 when it came out. And I got about 6 hours into playing it before I was like, actually, this isn't getting any better. This game is actually garbage. Holy crap. And yeah, to their credit, they very quickly were like, all right, yeah, we can't charge a sub fee for this game. It's terrible and it's broken. And they fixed it. So good on them.
Yeah, I would give that the credit, 1.0. 6 months, I think it was, without charging anyone a single cent for sub fee while they tried to turn ship around. And then they charged, and I was already burnt out by then. And then I came back for the alpha test, actually because of Mass Effect 3. So thank Mass Effect 3. I met some friends playing Mass Effect 3 in multiplayer. And I was talking to, I was just random people that I'd met. And I was talking about the fact I used to play 11, and they said they were thinking about buying 14 when it came out. I said, I was kind of burnt with 1.0. They're like, but we're going to try. I'm like, you know what? Fine. Here we are. So thanks, Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3 brings us all together.
Volus bring us all together. Volus are the best.
The Volus. Heck yeah.
But no, by the way, as you were playing earlier, and Robbie said, you can. It's not the whole movie, but there's like a 20-minute audio section based on Blasto.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if you stand by one of the signs, it just goes through like 20 minutes of the movie. It actually has like the credits at the end, so.
That's funny. I like that. Yeah. I'll have to check that out.
Includes a sexy Alcor.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know how a sexy Alcor exists, but that was part of the lines. I mean, whatever.
Reputaciously, I guess I'll watch it.
Yeah, there you go. If anyone wanted to see a sexy Alcor...
Do you not?
True. I mean, I've seen a lot of movies.
Oh boy.
They exist, sadly.
I'm sure they do. I'm not sure it's a good thing, but I'm sure they do.
So we're a Final Fantasy podcast, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, because I've been looking at my Twitter, and my Twitter is blowing up about BioWare right now.
Well, yeah, because Dragon Age and Mass Effect aren't at EA Play, which has pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, but like some of the people have actually directed their anger towards them, and I really think they shouldn't. Like in this day and age, man, they shouldn't be that. I thought, well, it's just another day.
I do wonder why wouldn't you want your game on EA Play? Like, why?
No, EA Play is their digital event. Their digital new event.
Oh, I thought EA Play was their sub-service.
It is the same thing. I don't know why they have the same name for everything. But yes. Yeah,
of course they do.
It's their E3. Yeah. It's basically their E3.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. But they're not bringing out any new games. I think it's some FPSs and shooters and Madden. So I was like, well, I'm just not going to look at that then.
Well, I'll watch it. Glad I don't have to watch it for work anymore.
I mean, I'll watch it just because I've heard about one game that'll be there that I'm excited for. That hasn't been announced yet, so I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of the independent games, aren't there?
Oh no, this is a little bit bigger than that. And I think I don't want to get in trouble, but if what I've heard is true, and you like horror titles, please look forward to it.
Oh, well, I can only think of one game that would fit that mold for EA Play. Interesting.
So I don't want to say anything because it's like some of the I hear stuff often, okay, but some of the stuff I hear, no, EA.
Would you say it's a horror title, a franchise that might be relevant to Mass Effect fans?
Ish. All I would say is it has lights on the back.
Yes, it does have lights on the back.
But yeah,
interesting.
But no, I heard some things. I hear things like I teased the free trial upgrade before it happened to a lot of the big content creators.
It must be nice working at Square Enix.
But no, but yeah. So, but sometimes I hear stuff, and it's because of how stuff works. Sometimes it's not right because I might have heard of was 6 months ago, and 6 months ago is a long time. So again, with this, I can't confirm if it's not 100% still going through. It's been through the cutting board, but yeah. From what I know,
people are doing a Mass Effect series.
Well, they've got a new Mass Effect, haven't they? Coming.
Well, yeah, which is I'm really like when I saw that I was like, huh?
I'm also happy that they changed the plans for Dragon Age, because remember they started off like it's gonna be a live service like Anthem.
Oh, when they said that, I my heart nearly like dropped out of my goddamn ass. Like I was like, well, it's over.
Yeah.
Get up, boys. That's it.
It's like Inquisition's like multiplayer it was fun, but it just didn't. And they had the whole like loot box system they had added into it. It's like
It had all that gay stuff attached to it.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
like I play Mass Effect for the relation.
No one's playing Mass Effect for anything other than cute space girlfriends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It
Or boyfriends.
Talia's my favorite.
Jack is my favorite. She's the best.
I will
At least
never
for
get
me.
over Femshep Tali not being doable. That's so
Same.
upsetting.
I still
It's
find
like-
it weird that Jack isn't doable with Femship. I feel like that would be a thing that it would happen.
Yeah.
Boy, not to stereotype, but yeah, with that haircut, yeah.
I mean, I feel like not with just a haircut, but I feel like with her upbringing, I feel like she would be bi-curious at least.
Oh yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, even if it was just to be a rebel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately, they caved to Fox. So what are you gonna do?
Oh, do you know who I miss? I miss Grunt.
Grunt? Yeah, Grunt's great. I can't wait
love
to meet Grunt. I'm in ME3 right now. I can't wait to meet Grunt.
I love.
Kai says, wait, are the servers still live for Mass Effect 3 multiplayer? I thought they shut down.
No, I don't know.
Osmo says, I totally play Mass Effect 3 for the impressive gunplay mechanics.
Right, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Sure.
It's like I still need to play through the Legendary Edition again. It's just that my PS4 is like dying because I'm
wow.
not a person that have a PS5. Are they still live? I thought they shut down like ages ago when they shut down their shop a while back.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. I would take Kai's word for it. Kai's a big ME3 multiplayer fan.
Well, thank you. I have it for PlayStation. Well, I do have a laptop now that can run stuff. So maybe. How about this, Kai? I might grab Mass Effect for the PC, so I can play it with you sometime. Even though I'll hate it. Wait, you can control the on PC, right? For free.
Yeah.
3, yes.
Okay, then I will buy 3. Because I can't play mouse and keyboard. Anyone that's seen me try mouse and keyboard, it's like there's no describing it. It's just bad. I just can't.
You just described it. Well done.
No, trust me, that's the nicest description.
Gotcha.
Yeah, my PS3. I have a PS3, but it's in the other room. I keep all my consoles. My PS3 and my PS4 in the other room. My PS2, PS1, GameCube. I think I have a Dreamcast as well in there somewhere, and an NES that I bought later. Oh, I have a Mega Drive still. Good times. But yeah, Final Fantasy 40 acclaimed MMO.
Right, this is what we're going to end. We're going to download Mass Effect 3 again.
Yeah, I kind of want to go play Mass Effect 3 instead.
I mean, with the big like kind of downtime, like most people have, like if you're not like coming back to the game, like say you took a break beforehand, and you're probably catching up. But for a lot of us that have pretty much done most of the things, and we're kind of just sitting and chilling.
Oh, how's your Savage going, by the way, Eskalia?
Not bad. We are still working on E9S. We only started a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
We're on E9S. We made it to Enrage last night, so now it's just about maximizing the DPS uptime until we clear.
Nice. Well, good luck. I hope you clear it tonight. You're raiding tonight, right, I think.
Our next raid is Tuesday, I believe, so it'll be a bit.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
We're raiding in about an hour and a half at 2 a.m. So
Very nice. Very nice.
yeah.
I thought we started at 2:30.
Well, I normally get on around 2 just to make sure I'm ready. But yeah, I think it's 2:30. Yeah, 2:30. My brain always says 2. That way I'm there just in case. Osmo said, oh god, E9S in Rage, good times. Kai says 2 actually, one for single player, different from multiplayer for reasons unknown to me. They're mutually incompatible, but nice. It's probably because they probably have like a different system for the multiplayer. That's why, maybe. But no, what are you up to in game? Because I know I'm personally taking a break from the game slightly. I'm slowly leveling up my crafters because that was a channel point reward where I had to reach level 80 and do an expert recipe. So I'm slowly working that.
Fun.
Yeah. Without a macro, by the way. I have to do it without a macro.
Without a macro, fair enough. Right now, I'm working on just knocking off my Endwalker to-do list, finishing up Omega at the moment. In addition to E9S, I'm trying desperately to buy a medium house in the Mist. I've got the 20 million gil. I have a small house currently, so I just need the house that I want to come up for sale in one of the wards. So I'm checking that all the time. And then outside of that, just kind of, doing all the other stuff that I hadn't gotten around to yet.
Oh, nice. I want a medium house in the Goblet eventually, but I'm saving up, and my plan is just once everyone rushes to buy Ishgard housing and then feels sad because they bought Ishgard housing, I'm going to then go run to a medium house in the Goblet and steal it from someone.
6.1, baby. It's going to be a heck of a day.
It really is.
I'm literally going to go to all the FC leaders in the Goblet, or I'm sorry, in the Mist, in the house that I want, and be like, hey, are you moving your house? Hey, are you moving your house? Let me know when.
It's gonna. I still feel bad because of how easy I've got 2 houses in the past. Like, I was watching Word to Game. Chris spent weeks on stream just clicking a house, and Paul can tell you that I just ran to my house and got it.
Oh,
Chili's RNG is
Yeah.
just like I
that's
swear.
insane.
Yeah, I've logged in the morning. There was a few people that I clicked it a couple of times. I thought, I've got to get some work done and go eat lunch, blah, blah, blah. Got work done, logged in later on a couple of hours ago. Nobody was there. Clicked it, got it. Then got text message, Tails saying, how did you get it? I'm like, well, it was open.
That's insane. I can't tell you the number of times I sat there for 10 hours spamming that placard. I hate this. I hate the system they have for it, but yeah.
I will say, you didn't hear this from me, anyone, right? Nobody heard this from me because we all know that macros are against the rules, okay? Macros are against the terms of service, and we all know this. So don't use a macro, right? And you didn't hear this next part from me either, okay? This next part, not from me. I would never say anything like this. Not Chili, not the nice boy. But you know you can have retainers that sell items outside. Now, what would happen if you suddenly put that retainer next to the placard where people have macroed to try and buy stuff?
It would probably get in the way of bots.
Yeah, and they would buy your stuff.
Wow.
I heard people do that. They glitch their thing on they glitch the retainer on top of the sign, so that bots that are sat there to try and buy housing ended up just buying everything off your retainer.
That's bonkers.
So you didn't hear this from us.
No, definitely not.
No, but if it happens and you have a house and you see bots, we didn't say anything, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you did hear this from me. The new expansion for Star Wars, The Old Republic, has been announced. Legacy of the Sith. Well, goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be quitting and not playing Final Fantasy ever again. Goodbye.
Well, looks like we need a new co-host. If anyone wants to join Moogle Go Round as a co-host, applications below. Shadrach, this new system for houses is terrible. It's better than it used to be, in my opinion, when anyone else everyone could have all the houses.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just put it this way. They haven't gotten it right yet.
Yeah. I am dreaming in my heart that Island Sanctuary is going to be like instant housing.
That would be ideal, but I don't know. Like, maybe. I don't know. I know they have this whole big thing about they want the neighborhoods, but hopefully the Island Sanctuaries will just be like, cool, everyone gets an apartment now. Congratulations.
And that's what I said, by the way, not exactly the same. It's not going to be 100% like if you owned a house. There'll still be benefits to own a house over Island Sanctuary. Like, it'll be maybe have it limited to how much you can in an apartment. I feel like what if everyone that got Island Sanctuary got like a barn that they customize? You have your own little barn.
Yeah, everyone gets to sleep in the barn. I'm into it.
Yeah. So that's what I want. Island Sanctuary is my Endwalker excitement. That is my excitement. I'm very simple, okay?
I'm a simple man.
I just want
Animal
my
Crossing
Lalafell.
the game. Enjoy.
I just want my Lalafell to retire, become a farmer, and relax and grow plants and breed stuff. that's it.
Yes, the breeding.
Look, I did it really well with chocobos, okay? So I could do it with.
I don't think. I know Swoltor had a system like that where you could be on like own a house on different planets. Like I had like a temple in Yavin 4. I had a apartment complex building. It was just really big for it was just really nice. I like that where it's like that. It's kind of like big. Didn't even cost you that much either. Chili the breeder should probably get a title for himself. True.
No, that
Really,
no.
brutal.
I would get. I'm sorry, but if I had that title, I would get so much hate every time I walk around anywhere, just because of the stigma of being a Lalafell. I would get so much hate.
Oh boy, yeah, that'd be rough.
Yeah, that I would get all of the hate, which is fair, but at the same time, it would be annoying.
I just own it.
Chili Rogue Swinger, the breeder.
Sounds like a Final Fantasy 11 NM.
That sounds great. Breeder of the Rose.
That's like your Humaju the Torrent.
And at my age, it's understandable that I pop every 24 hours.
Oh. Good lord. Yeah, that works.
Well, it's been fun being on Twitch, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Now my mind is blank.
Yep.
I'm still in awe over the new expansion First World Tour.
But what are you most excited for about Endwalker?
For Endwalker, well, obviously the MSQ. I think this is a story that has been building ostensibly since 1.0. To see kind of the ending of the Hydaelyn and Zodiac saga is really exciting to me. So many MMOs really don't get the opportunity to end their stories in a really cogent way. We saw it with Rhapsodies of Anadil in FF11. And while this isn't the end of the story overall, obviously, because there will be a 6.1 and there'll be a new story that's going to be told, to kind of get an end to this, journey we all began almost, over a decade ago in some cases. I'm really excited to see how it all wraps up. And outside of that, it's hard to say what I'm most excited for, because we don't actually know a lot for as much as we do know. Like, I'm really curious to see how this La Habrea raid turns out. But again, because of the story, that's what I'm interested in. How this Sanctum of the 12 raid ends up turning out. Like, there's so much that we're probably for, but it's all lore to me, and that's what's got me most excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where the story goes, because I bet Yoshi P is going to be really happy that he can finally make new content that wasn't drafted back in 1.0. Because although the story's written, he writes the story now. Technically, the overall plot was already scripted in 1.0, and he's not been able to actually make any new content that he, if he wanted the story that he wants to tell, he's not been able to do it. Ish.
Right. Well, I think to an extent he's been able to, because they've clearly retconned lots of things and changed a lot of things over time. Even as recently as there's been retcons to the Warriors of Darkness. So they've clearly changed directions on things. But yeah, to be able to tell a fresh story that's basically kind of whatever he wants. That's kind of why I think they've begun the setup for this with Omega and Midgardstormer. I think we're going to get more involved, the Dravanians and Midgardstormer's brood. I think that's a lot more of the story that he wants to tell.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see more about the dragons, about why they came to Hydaelyn.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting.
Oh, on Limit Break Radio, you talked about them surviving, how they survived. They
the dragons?
Split. No, the split. Yeah, the Asians.
Oh, the Asians, yeah.
I had my theory that I was going that maybe that's why we got to, maybe they survived on the moon.
Yeah, that's a possibility. It was literally them leaving. I'm not certain what we're going to encounter on the moon. We got obviously the name of the city on the moon called Walker. What was it called? Mare Lamentorum.
Yeah.
So that could there's a lot of different ways you could take that. With Mare being on it, you could take that as a playoff nightmare, so or a bad dream, so a dream's lament or something like that. There's a lot of ways you could take it. I'm interested. I really want to see where they finish this story off and what things like the moon mean. Why are we going to the moon? For what reason? What is up there?
You can see some of the you can see some inspirations of Amarot from the designs of the buildings in the new area.
For sure you can. Yeah, it makes you wonder if maybe Emmett Silk, when he was on the Source, maybe if he based himself on that place on the moon, maybe if that's where he hung out when he wasn't in Garlemald. Although we found out that he has had a penchant for empire building long before the Garleans as well, and he probably built all the great empires of that era. Ozma saying that they're unsatisfied with how the 13th has been treated so far. So the Void is interesting, and you do get a little bit more about the Void if you complete all the role quests. I cannot recommend enough that you level up one of each kind of role and complete all the role quests, because you will. That. Yeah, you will get a little bit more information on the Void and what exactly is happening with the Void. So I can't recommend that highly enough.
I still wish that I would love to have seen what this happened. You know, when we became that void spewing bomb, not void, I mean light spewing bomb in the story. If we'd found a way to get to the 13th and seen what happened if we did, let ourselves off there.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about what what Grahatia's plan was, right?
Yeah.
Was to take all of our light ether and go to the void with it. Had that succeeded, what would have happened?
Because the void is what it is because of the fact that darkness was too much darkness. What if we just put all that light energy over there instead?
Well, that's what's interesting too, right? Because we find out in Shadowbringers that a calamity happens when when one of the ethereal elements gets so out of proportion that it causes a calamity on the Source. But okay, so why didn't that happen with the Void? Because the Void is exactly that. Darkness has consumed all in the Void. Why didn't that lead to a calamity on the Source, rather? I think that's a question that we're going to have to figure out the answer to at some point.
Well, I think it's because Minfilia stepped in, right? With the first?
Well, with the first, yes, but I'm talking about why the Void clearly is completely overwhelmed with darkness. Why hasn't that caused a calamity?
Yeah, true. I mean, they said they screwed up with how it maybe. You remember they've got to weaken they got to weaken the Source, and then you got to have a calamity on the Source and a calamity on the in the other dimension. Well, they didn't have a calamity on the calamity. Words are hard. They didn't have one on the Source at the same time as they did on the 13th, and that's why it screwed up. Yeah,
they do talk about how it was their greatest failure, that they had done something wrong and left it as a useless void. And it's okay, well, first of all, you already then cannot become complete again because there is going to be a shard remaining. So I don't know what your plan actually is anymore. I'd be very curious to get a couple more answers about that.
We need to have FFXIV on Animus.
Or Koji.
Oh, Koji. Yeah, I'll call Koji. We'll get Koji.
yeah, I'll say, I assume he works in the same department as you. I would love. There are a few people in this world I would want more than to just have a 1 hour discussion with, just have dinner with someone and let them be completely honest. No recorders, no microphones, no nothing. Just hey, can we just talk for an hour about this lore? Because I gotta know.
Yeah, mine would be Soken.
Soken would be fascinating.
I'll just eat fried chicken with him.
Yeah, I would love to eat some Lawson's chicken with Soken. I want to have a random brofist with Yoshi P on stream again. That's what I want.
Again.
That's all I want. Okay.
Let's go down the hall in your cubicle then and just hit him once. And,
Eskalia 2016 Fan Fest. I was with Phoenix Down Radio at the time.
Yep, I remember.
They were doing a live stream after the show. I outside the hall, and after the because it was right after the show, they people from Square Enix started walking past, and Yoshi P stopped in front of the camera, bro-fisted a couple of us, and then walked off.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got I got my Limit Break radio bag signed by Yoshi at E3 one year, and he looked at he signed it and then looked at the logo and just kind of glanced at me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think
I know who you are.
Listen, my name is in a database somewhere, and it says "do not work with."
Well, don't worry. If I ever do work, I would make sure to switch that over to do work with.
Yeah, well, I would appreciate that. You're going to have to probably get through some high-level security clearance for that, but I'm sure you've got the pull.
I think Michael Christopher Koji Fox is the top of the not entirely impossible to get on the podcast list.
It is so hard to get SE to even respond to something, let alone get a big interview. I'll take it from me. I mean, you two probably know. Even when you do get an interview, it is so redacted and so like
Yeah.
they're so strict. Like what you can ask it's really hard to do an interview.
Yeah. You have to submit your interview questions to them. They submit it back, and then you have to submit it back, and then finally you get your interview questions.
Yep.
I will never forget the first because I went to the London Fan Fest, by the way. I bought I was told that they had no press tickets for us because because of my other work, not just Moogle Go Round, but my other work at the top. Still.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any press tickets for us. So anyway, I bought the tickets. I went down. By the way, the first London Fan Fest, the most disappointing fan fest you can ever go to.
Oh, really? That sucks.
It was one day, and that one day included your tickets.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, on the way down there, I got a direct message from my boss saying, we got press tickets. I'm like, okay. So I ended up getting, they told me they didn't have any, but then he's like, yeah, we got two. So I ended up spending the money on tickets that I didn't have to spend money on.
Well, at least there's that.
Yeah. And then I had to escort my boss around the event, and he'd never played Final Fantasy game at the time before, so I didn't know what anything was.
Sure, that was fun.
Well, it was fun when he pointed out I talked to him earlier while also pointing at Yoshi P.
Mm-hmm,
He didn't know. I was like, he was like, "What's this?" And it's a chocobo. I'm like, "It's a chocobo. What's this?" Oh, and he turned up in a suit and tie, by the way.
You should have just pointed out like in like the most useless terms. What's this? Horse bird.
Yeah, I've met him twice in real life at two different events, Eurogamer Expo and FanFest, and both conventions he turned up in a suit and tie.
It's not a good look. Not at a gaming convention.
No, not at all. And he wondered why some of the studios were like, "No, we're not letting press in."
Yeah,
because
exactly.
he looked like he was pretending to be press.
Right, show up in a gaming t-shirt and jeans. You're fine.
Yeah, they were letting me in, and he got confused. Of like, he went to EA, right? EA was doing. It was I can't remember what game. I think it was the first Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront. And they said no press, and I said 1 second. I said, "I'm press. Can I come in?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And I'm like, "He's my friend. Can he come in too?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It's like, but why not me? I don't know."
If you're wearing a suit and tie at a gaming convention, you better be like the finance person at a game studio. Like that's the only way that's acceptable.
No, I miss him. He's not my boss anymore. He left a couple of years ago. He was an interesting person. That's all I'm going to say. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Anyway, anything you want? Any more questions anyone got about Final Fantasy 14 before we start wrapping this up? Because we're actually going longer than normal right now.
Well, that would be pretty standard for any podcast that I appear on.
Well, I mean, I don't know when we're going to be able to get you back, so I want to make sure I get as much time as I can with you.
There you go. Anytime. Feel free to reach out.
Yay!
I mean, I'll to be very clear, I reached out for this one because I needed a favor. So
I mean, I've been wanting to reach out to you for a while now, but I'm so nervous when it comes to certain because as I said before, I've idolized both you and everyone else at Limit Rate Radio for so long that it's one of those things that's hard for me to. I know it's stupid because we're all people that talk about video games, but there's certain, like when I talked to Mr. Happy, I was physically shaking in real life the entire show. I'll admit that. Right. I was so nervous because it was someone that I enjoy and have known it from a distance more than I have known normally.
Well, no, believe me, I'm the same way. Like, I'll get to when I went out to FanFest, right? Like, I saw Kyoko Star there, and I'm like, oh my god, that's Kyoko Star. And someone's like, you can go talk to her. I'm like, no, she's like important. And they're like, go talk to her. It's fine. And it was. She's super nice. She's one of the nicest people in the world. But it's like no matter who you are or where you are in the community, that imposter syndrome, I swear, never goes away. It never does. Like I still would go. I would go to FanFest still and be like, I don't know that I'm important enough to be here. I think like I should probably just like sit quietly.
Wait, I want to go to the next FanFest in Europe, but what you tell me is to not bring a suit. Sure, bring it to the event afterwards, but not the event. Yeah.
Or just don't bring a suit and tie. Get yourself a nice dress.
So I come into my green suit and tie, yeah?
I have a purple tie.
Listen, if it's ridiculous enough, it goes back to being okay. Like, it has to be insane.
It's neon green, full suit.
There you go. If you've got a full neon green suit, get yourself a neon blue tie and wear it. Absolutely. That's acceptable.
No. Disco Cup, one of the fans of the show, and She Heals Her Tank. Remember, go check out She Heals Her Tank. Go to Twitch.tv so She Heals Her Tank.
You can catch me on She Heals Her Tank next Friday, a week from tomorrow.
Yeah. He wants me to come in as Subliga. So that's something.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. That it's a degree of confidence I'm not sure I'll ever have.
Look, I agreed that instead of a subligate, I'll wear a skirt.
There you go.
I agreed to that instead. I was like, nobody wants to see that. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that.
I hope to
I
cosplay
don't
my
wanna see
Warrior
it.
of Light for next fan fest.
Nice.
What about my Santa catsuit, Chili? I mean,
Santa catsuit.
that's the first time I've heard of this.
Yeah, what a cat suit? Is it like a suit with cats on it, or is it?
Don't you know what a catsuit is?
No,
A catsuit is a very tight leather outfit.
Yeah, that'd be like a
Yeah.
BDSM outfit.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's kind of kinky.
I don't get the Santa part of it. Does it have
Well,
beards on
I
it?
assume it's red with some white trim.
Okay, that makes more sense than
And then it has the hat too, right? Like I can
Yeah.
only assume that the hat might be more of a gimp mask, but like
Yeah, I mean, I'll sell with my. I've got a poop Christmas hat. I'll sell with that. I know I walked around FanFest last time with my poop hat on the entire time, which was interesting.
Sunlight. No, what character be?
Sunlight immediately makes you.
I was so
Sunlight.
confused. Like, sunlight? Sunlight immediately?
I mean, we like to be indoors, so sunlight would be the opposite of a fan that works at SE.
correct.
Didn't you see my catsuit in Discord?
No.
No.
Send fluffy
No.
white ball.
Fluffy white ball gag. Wow. Okay, fair enough.
Mistletoe clamps.
Mistletoe. Yeah, that's that is one plate of milk and cookies I'm not touching.
Me neither. Welcome to Moogle Go Round, everyone. If you're not following us, you're smart.
You're not following. You're smart. You got a brain. Well played.
So, Eskalia, before we wrap up, have you got any shout outs, anything you want to plug?
Yeah, so first of all, I do want to give a huge shout out to all my co-workers who are still doing amazing work over at Checkpoint XP. Make sure that you follow them and keep up with them. Even though I'm not part of the brand anymore, I was very proud of the work that we did over there. And right up to the end, I believe strongly in it. So make sure you follow with them. I also want to give a shout out to my team over at Limit Break Radio, to the people who I had the absolute pleasure of working with: Nero, Nika, Juxta, Callow, Strife more recently. They are an amazingly talented group, so you should check them all out if you're interested in Final Fantasy content. I know they just put their Patreon back up, and they are going to be producing Limit Break Radio content again, as I understand it. So that's very exciting. And then lastly, myself. You can follow me over at twitch.tv/Eskalia. We're going to be streaming 5 days a week, starting later this month. Right now, I'm streaming almost every day because I'm trying to get the channel where I want it in time for the official channel launch, which will be at on July 21st. It's going to be the official channel launch. That's my 32nd birthday. We'll be doing a day-long stream. By that point, I want to start doing streams Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, which is going to be good stuff. I don't yet have a Discord or anything, although people keep telling me I need to make one, so maybe I will have a Discord in the not-too-distant future, and as I understand it, I was just sent my first 2 emotes, so that's pretty cool. You'll be able to check out my first couple emotes on stream tomorrow. We'll be streaming at 5 o'clock Eastern Time until 9 o'clock, when I will be appearing on Maelstrom Radio.
Nice. We submitted our first follower emote, so we now got a follower emote.
Congratulations.
It's a pickle.
It's a pickle in a car.
It is a pickle. I love my emotes. Oh, they're so cute.
I'm going to be lining up. Everyone's going to be lining up so that we can sub to you right away, so we can get the VIP badge.
Yeah, listen,
not the VIP, the first badge. Sorry,
because it blows my mind, right? Like, I've obviously been performing now for a very long time, and it's like I was talking about earlier, that kind of imposter syndrome never goes away. The idea that people would want to line up to subscribe to me still blows my brain. Like, I cannot fathom it, but I am, of course, incredibly grateful to anyone who does choose to do so. We're expected to make affiliate status maybe as early as Saturday, and I'll put out a tweet as soon as we do, and yeah, you can rush in to become a founding subscriber. That's a fun little concept that they have. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
gonna be like Housing Savage.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. I don't know that it'll be quite that in high demand. I'll tell you what, if it's that high in demand, I'm gonna be set. Like I'm not even gonna have to worry about whether I can make it as a streamer.
Founder Savage.
There you go. The Weeping City of Merch 2.0.
Paul, have you got any shout outs or anything you want to say beforehand?
Other than I'm sorry that my microphone was loud. I was literally I had to unplug it and put it back in, make it slower, make it lower, so it doesn't hear TV. Stream still hears it, unfortunately. Can't change that. It's open constantly. I've been having it mute a lot. Other than that, shout out to everyone who watches. Big shout out to Mione as well, who gave us so much love this week. This week or last week? It's last week, wasn't it?
I don't know, but it's been crazy. That 1,000 person raid was nuts.
1,000 people, I can't even imagine. I would have a heart attack. I would literally like start hyperventilating and then cry.
I was doing chocobo racing at the time. I'm like, what? 1,000? What?
How many? Oh, I got to do something more entertaining. Oh my gosh! I know that moment.
They forced me to go back to chocobo racing because they enjoyed it. Because have you ever watched like the Grand National?
Grand National.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that when I'm chocobo racing.
I love it.
Well,
that's awesome. Well, thank you both so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Well, we're honored to have you on. Seriously, it means a lot to have you. Thank you so much, Eskalia.
You're very welcome. I enjoyed myself.
Thank you.
You are a legend on the content creators, and it's great to have you on.
Thank you.
And Kai, yes, chocobo racing is good. You're right. I'd like to shout out to everyone that's joined us today in the chat. It's been nice to have it's lovely to see everyone. It was nice to see Nom Nom Pie. I haven't seen her for ages, so a friend on Primal. I don't get to talk to her often now that I'm playing mostly on Aether. So thank you everyone for stopping by, and thank you, Eskalia. We're very privileged to be able to have a chat with you. Thank you. Seriously. Please, if you don't follow her, please. I'm going to say this multiple times. I'm going to tweet this out multiple times before Saturday. Go follow twitch.tv/Eskalia.
You won't regret it, I hope.
And if you do regret it, it's probably a good regret.
Yeah, it's going to be the kind of regret where you feel a little sticky and shameful. It's going to be that kind of regret.
Yeah. So this has been Moogle Go Round episode 123. As I said before, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be doing another Void Whale giveaway. As I said, I'm going to give away a Void Whale every month until the end of till the expansion comes out, which I shouldn't have said because that's a long time away, but I said it, so I'm going to do it. There'll also be some secret puzzle stuff done as well between now and the end of the month. So remember that there's none right now, but if anyone knows, there's no hidden commands right now. Basically, I do hidden commands that you have to work out. And each hidden command has some text. And if you work out the word from all the hidden commands text, you get $15 worth of stuff on the Mog Station.
Ooh, I like it.
That way, it gives people stuff to do during the month. Anyway, we'll be back in 2 weeks with Tarot TV, a wonderful Fantasy 14 warrior content creator who makes PvP stuff along with other content. We should also have Java Monkey _ on the show to talk about Gunbreaker. So yeah, and they've done Ultimate, so that's incredible. So check out July 15th where we'll have those two guests on. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you to our wonderful guest Eskalia. As always, thank you to everyone in the chat. This has been Moogle Go Round episode 123, and I've just done an ending again. Bye everyone. Bye.
Bye.